Finlay is joining me here. I had to have a special guest because it's not every day that the Commanders actually
Month.
70 days. I was looking to see like what's happened in the world since then. It was the Dodgers were still 3 weeks away from winning the World Series.
Wow.
The Louvre robbery was still 2 weeks away from happening.
Wow.
And of course, nobody imagined Philip Rivers would be
Wow.
would be would be playing
Right.
the Chargers game. That was like
I wanted to go to the Dodgers LDS game. I
yeah.
think they were on the road.
Yeah. No, the last time it's the last time they won. It's the last time they had a double-digit lead. It's the last time Bill had over like 65 yards, give or take.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of things
Try to stay in thing.
appreciate that. What a game. I think Philip Rivers, they lose at the buzzer. I didn't see most of the game because that's just still insane that the dude came off the street at 44 years old and they almost won. The guy that Seattle had to make a 56-yard field
Oh,
goal.
wait, great. We didn't see much of it. We only saw
Yeah,
the end. Maybe Darnold was turning it over or something. But I mean, see, I don't think Seattle had a touchdown.
no,
I mean,
six field
six field
goals.
goal. Incredible. I mean, he, I mean, what a story. Like it's one of those crazy, like only in sports kind of things.
Yeah, unbelievable. Only that helps to with the Commanders. When also actually, because the Wolves and the Commanders one of the things.
Luke Eagles, how often do they play on the same day? I guess enough.
I
NBA
mean,
season starts what, like mid-October?
play on Sundays, but
Right.
yeah, it is definitely more of one of those. I'm starting 3-20 every
Right,
year.
right, right, right.
Right. So
When I was always say like 9 and 20.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Um, look, into the win. I mean, good. I'm glad for the human beings
Mhm.
involved. Got this done. I know it messes with the draft pick. We'll deal
The
with that.
draft pick's a pretty silly conversation with 4 games left. So much is going to change. I mean, the Saints just won, right? So like their draft pick, like 4 games in the NFL, it's tough because Washington's been eliminated for a while, and it feels like 4 games is a long time. That like being hyper focused on the draft pick is just not realistic to how NFL people view the game.
So you'll be on the radio tomorrow.
The creek don't rise.
What do you think is the main topic? The win, but I mean, what do you think is the main topic within the win? What's the aspect or the draft pick? Or what do you think people are? You take calls. What do you think people are going to care about the most?
So, who knows? For me, my takeaway is kind of a win is a win, right? Like for those guys, the 70 days, the Louvre robbery, whatever. I think it. I felt it. I imagine you do too. Like you can see that the team is still completely bought in to the team. And we've covered teams where you can see it isn't
Yeah.
when you get late in a lost year. And I think to have that and then be rewarded with a win has real like intrinsic value within that locker room. I think what the stuff Dan Quinn always talks about the grit and the heart and all that showed in this one because they tried to give this thing away a few different times. I mean,
Very much.
two fourth quarter fumbles is pretty remarkable. And then the stuff that really should matter in a lost season, like developing young guys, you saw some of that. You saw Bill, to your earlier point, Jalen Lane with his second punt return touchdown. Ben Sennett with a big catch late in this thing to see well what we thought was seal it.
Sanders still with the pick.
Stammer still with a pick. Like Brandon Coleman kind of thrust into real left tackle action with
Yep.
LT going down. Like that stuff matters. And that's what everybody's been screaming about. Like, oh, do more of that, do more of that. Today you kind of saw that. So, and then like, other guys they're trying to work and develop, like Hamilton, he's not necessarily like a first or second year guy, but like you're trying to find pieces that might matter for you later. And I think you saw some of that.
That was the focus of my story after just sort of they won was that they won with other than like Terry, the guys who were the headliners were the kids, and that is ultimately whatever's going to happen here down the stretch is kind of what matters the most. They got to get more out of this draft, these two draft classes. There hasn't been a lot. Bill get back in the mix. Obviously, he's been quiet since that Chargers and the Bears game. I don't think it was necessarily him. He's still been averaging pretty good yards per carry whenever he gets the ball, but
He also put one on the ground. He's
yeah,
done that. But they did go back to him. Um, but yeah, I'm totally with you. I think if it's about letting young guys go, like you saw some of it tonight,
here's
or they made plays in opportunities. Like I was like,
no for sure. So like obviously no Chris Rodriguez. He must be hugely bummed, not only because he has the opportunity to
yeah,
play, but like
hard the Giants.
the Giants 31st against the run. Got to factor that in with what happened, but considering what Washington has done for them. But when you look at all the things that they're going to have to do this offseason, we all know the list. I'm not saying that this running back room is enough, that they may, need to get more. But if you said, hey, look, you're going to have to, you can't solve all your problems. So if you go to address the defense and get receiver or whatever, and you go back with Bill, Chris Rodriguez, McNichols, and then maybe you toss in a day three pick or some vet. I'm not saying that's ideal. I am saying though that like there's at least maybe enough potential there that I say screw it. I gotta figure out, especially like they lose Zach Ertz. Like who knows what they're gonna look like. They gotta go solve so many other things. Maybe this is the backfield, but you need games like this to justify that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can be with that. I mean, C-Rod and McNichols are expiring, right?
Rodriguez is like restricted free agent, so in
Right.
theory he can be back if they want him to.
Uh,
And McNichols, I mean, presumably he's not going anywhere.
right. Especially when you see Bill perform how he can, you feel better. I mean, I think offensively, especially with Jaden, like I don't pass as much, I get as much like blue chip talent as you can. That's a rare. Like, where does Jeremiah Love go? Top 20 probably, but if they draft like seven, that might be too high. If they just we need somebody in the backfield, I'm okay with that. But yes, it's like of all the problems, I don't know that the backfield has been near the top of my list.
The draft picks stay the same.
Right.
Let's just assume they use what first on a defensive lineman and a third on, let's say, a receiver, 4 or 5 good money free agent signings. At least one's another defensive lineman, one's a corner, depending on Bobby Wagner, one's a linebacker. We don't know what they're doing at tight end. Is Paul staying? If not, I guess you could just put Brandon Coleman in there, or you have to re-sign Chris Paul.
Right.
So they have enough other stuff, and we're not even talking about depth. Like,
Right.
is the real issue.
Right.
So even if they build up that, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but you need days like today. Like Rodriguez has run well lately. Bill today, good stuff. On that front. Yeah, I'm freezing.
Also, even the press box was freezing. I've never experienced that, but we might as well have been outside. I said this. I was sitting with Mitch and then the two post guys. Like we had normal for my side. It's outside. I mean, when I had to go out there for post game, the wind chill was 10 degrees, so it was like 20, felt like 10. I imagine the press box.
When the visiting locker room is like all the way across the stadium from where we came to there. We walked underneath the bowels of the arena, the stadium, all the way around. To come back, we on the field. It didn't feel any different. Walk I had no jacket on. Across the
Why
field.
wear your jacket?
Upstairs, we're indoors. I shouldn't have to do. But anyway, so like it didn't feel any different walking through the state through the outdoors on the field than it did up here.
I mean, I had to do Beltway football outside for a half hour or
Oh my
whatever.
God.
That felt different.
Well, for a half an hour, that's yeah, that's definitely a lot. You mentioned a guy like the cornerback situation. They already lost Adam Ward, Jonathan Jones doesn't play. They brought up Darius Rush as like a fourth guy off the practice squad. He got hurt. I don't know if he even came back in. But they have like nobody out there. And from the beginning of the game, it's been special teams guy. Uh, they're going up against Slate and they attacked early on. This is not about starting. It's not about any about that. It is literally just about the combination of like the front office finding guys that can fill in. Also, like you talked about um, with it, and the guys who have the ability.
I know people get tired of the brotherhood and the slogan, but like that room it matters, and then for those guys to be able to make plays today matters, you know. And he wasn't a round that I think has been really good. That you like to think is back is a piece of things. Um, yeah, I mean it's a positive that like those dudes like to be able to get on the bus and they won a game and go home and talk to their families and they won.
They're easier than when somebody says that we as media want them to lose for some reason. I always say, I promise you, if you could imagine going to work and everybody is miserable, that's not fun.
Right.
And I'm going into their office.
Right.
It's you know they don't want they don't even want to deal with us. They don't have to. Yes, a good win, just to get one. Since to tomorrow, Jaden, what the deal is. Obviously, I think we're all kind of like, I don't know what to say anymore. But if they say he's cleared, where are you at now? There's 3 games to go. They just win, but now you got Philly, Dallas, Philly. Where are you at now at this point in terms of whether he should play or not?
So my idea of what it was going to look like. If 2 games left, I'm not sure it's worth going out there for two.
Same.
And but three, I don't know that answer. You know, like when he was coming back after with 5 games left, that made a lot of sense to me.
Right.
Like you want him to come on here and show what his offense look like. Think, and I don't know, like I kind of think there's not a player on the field that's 100%, right? And so for every player, medical coaches kind of figure out what is cleared. 76%, 83, 90. And I wonder if Jaden's bar to cleared needs to be higher,
Right.
95. Like, and maybe it's something unobtainable, but like, I'm okay with that. If they're like, listen, if he is, everything is completely 1000% good to go, then sure. But like, if it's almost swollen or whatever, then
100%.
that's kind of where I'm at. But like, if they he's cleared all the way, and you want to play him against Philly, I can wrap my brain around that.
Yeah. When Dan Quinn, so when they pulled him in the third quarter against the Vikings, and then I asked Quinn, hey, did the Seattle game affect your decision? And he was like, no. I mean, it had to have for like a lot.
Right.
And so if that was the case, then it almost feels like they're really going to then open themselves up to the worst case scenario. And while I still agree that I was with you, I was saying that he needs at least 3 or 4 games to justify having enough, space there to build on something. Would feel that way, but if they say we're done, I'm not gonna scream and yell.
Yeah, dude, I agree. And I also happened like an outside shot at the playoffs. And I think they're losing, and how Minnesota had played prior to that was a big part of this. Well, and I think it is important here. But I feel like down the stretch here, and maybe it's the job, right? But like sometimes we parse
Sure.
what are inconsistent. We can pick apart like he doesn't care. You know what I mean? So like I mean the entire James clear go back in, I kept him down and for the week. And it was wildly inconsistent. But inside the building, they don't care. And like I highly doubt he was consulting what he said on Sunday. You know what I mean? So or nature of some, which arguably like
roles. We have conversations with each other. You can kind of tell when somebody is giving you less than the truth of an answer. And you're like, you don't, and you never want to feel like you're being lied to. So when he's giving us the runaround a bit, and we get it. I mean, look, the reality is they don't want to just come out and say that it's a pain tolerance thing because they don't want to put anything on Jake, which fuck man. The
well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's really not clear.
but I mean Quinn says he didn't re-aggravate the dislocation.
Right.
So basically it is like there's something, but again, I'm not for that. I mean, it looked painful.
I
A
think
dislocated
Jaden is crazy spread.
100%, that, but they also clearly don't want to put it out, put anything information out there in such a way to make him look bad. It's not just enough to say we don't want him to play. We also don't want him to.
Think or make theirs to make me look bad.
Sure.
So like maybe it wasn't reactivated, but it got again, like a different partner. You know
Well,
what I mean?
like Quinn did say that like the day after, he's like, hey, a player sometimes the day after feels something different.
Yeah.
Sure,
Right.
I get that. So
Right. I mean, think about that. This one, even the Ertz thing. Well, finally, we all kind of saw it in real time, and it was pretty clear what that injury was. Even after the game, Dan was like, "Yeah, we're pretty certain this isn't good. Still have to wait for tomorrow for the MRI. Like the MRI, you always have to wait for swelling to go down. Like MRIs are just wait the next day. Like we don't know that something else didn't happen. Like that he doesn't play, that they're just holding him out. Like he could have hurt it differently again. Like who knows? You know what I mean? Like it is apparently open ended.
yeah, no, for sure. All right, 3 games to go. Any one thing for you on top of the agenda as far as anything, wins, losses, Jaden, Bill, Terry, anything?
Snap counts, but the Johnny Newton stuff continues to kind of be perplexing.
I did not notice him today, but
I got to go back,
yeah,
right? Like everything happens in real time. Outside of that,
Oh, when you go down and count, he's gonna lock that gate up, so you want to leave on, and this guy's leaving now, and then I'm out of here too.
okay,
And so is the guy, he's gonna lock that first gate, so I want to.
you got to go to the loading dock.
Go to the loading dock, and come in. I'm thinking I'll take one more guy. Okay, now when you go to the loading dock, come out of the elevator downstairs, over to the service level, and you gotta walk around like on the inside instead of making a left. I don't know if you think, you know. Come on the elevator, just go straight to the service level and just keep walking to the left.
Rent level.
Yeah, close, you can go.
Make the left, and then you'll figure out where the loading dock is because the trucks are there.
sure.
How about that? See, this is the stuff people don't know about.
To be honest, like I haven't had it help. I haven't had in previous times, or I'm like the last person in the when you leave a visiting building, you have no idea where you're going.
Yeah, dude.
There was I think
You
there
have your car. If you have to get an Uber, up and then
Yeah.
you can't find where the location is.
there was I think when they played the Colts a couple years ago, the Sam 40 and I were the last two out, and we get out to some place where
In Indy.
and the only place we could figure out to go is like over a fence, basically. And you'll be shocked, like it was not exactly we did it, yeah.
Jorge probably climbed that thing like a ninja.
He had a little more youth on his side. I eventually got there, but yes, it is a notable aspect of these
Was
things.
that the Indy game where that security guard started screaming at Phillips and we came down the steps?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that was something. That was something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, cool. JP, I appreciate the time. You are, of course, going to be on NBC4 tonight.
yeah, watching it.
106.7 The Fan,
Let's
10 to 2.
looked at this.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I have a line for Eagles Commanders next week.
Let's see.
About it. Yeah.
Eagles Commanders. 5.5. Did
My guess was 6.5.
did somebody get hurt?
No, but
Oh, I guess they're right. Philly's been, although they crushed today, right? They put the Raiders, but
yeah,
yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, it's the division game, and they have not been exactly crushing it. I'll say.
I like the number.
By the way, we didn't mention Laramie Tunsil left with a oblique. He left with a shoulder injury, came back, then had an oblique injury. I'm not gonna. If you said to me that they shut him down, I wouldn't mind that. As long as like Jaden's not playing, I'd be okay with that because you know he's going to be
I think
back.
there's some of that too in the Jaden discussion. Like if Tunsil is down, that impacts your Jaden clearance.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, now he's got to be 100%.
And Noah Brown also went out again. I feel so bad for that guy. Just could not stay healthy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Not going to put up with it. Again, send it to 106.7 fan tomorrow, every day.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Beltway
Yeah.
football.
Hey, look, B. Mitchell be in a good mood. That's going to make your life easier.
Never knew what that did.
I appreciate it.
No problem. You got
Oh.